Hi, it is the 17th of January 2025. My name is Kate and this is the Ordinary Earth Song. So, I am just playing around today, really. I've just logged off of work and I have been enticed by one of my decks to do a reading. Not really a specific reading for individuals or anything, but just a general kind of messagey type thing. And this is the deck I've been called to over the past few days, actually, the Ancient Stones Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. This is a fairly new deck to me, but they are beautiful cards. Now, I'm not a tarot reader, I'm not an expert tarot reader like a lot of people on YouTube are, but I like the fact that you can use oracle cards and tarot cards to communicate with an aspect of yourself that you don't necessarily interact with on a conscious level every day. And what I mean by that is we go through our day-to-day lives and it's very easy to go through our lives just doing the day-to-day stuff, just existing, and which is fine, you know, that's what we do as human beings, we exist, but it means that we do kind of forget that we are more than that, and it's very easy to forget it because we're in this dense 3D reality, and because we're in this dense 3D reality, it's hard for us to retain the memory of who we were before we came into this existence. Now, I really do strongly think that there's something to be said about working towards kind of discovering who you are and your true potential, and to do that, it's kind of the need to recognise that you are more than human. I mean, being human is fantastic because it means that we're having an experience which is difficult and it's challenging, and we came here to do that. We came here to have that experience, and we came here to be challenged, and we came here to live in a place where duality is a real thing, and where we forget where we come from and who we actually are. And that's a real opportunity to not only, I guess, how can I put this? It's a real opportunity for us to understand life without knowing where we are, where we came from, the energy that we are. Because I reckon if you're in that high vibe kind of existence, some might call it a spirit realm, some might call it just the high vibrational energy side of existence, which underlies absolutely everything, not just this universe, but anything beyond and in and out of that universe. It's all kind of layers of existence. Being on Earth is a real opportunity to experience a dense 3D existence where we forget our connection and our innate selves as that high vibrational energy, where we are connected to anything, and we can go wherever we want, whenever we want, because we can just have a thought and go there, I guess. There's no time or anything like that. We come to Earth and we're in this 3D existence, and we have to wait for things. We have to go through time and space to do stuff. We can have a thought, but then we have to think, well, what are all the steps that we need to go through to make that thought happen? So this existence that we're in now is completely different to the one that we would have been in before we came to this existence, before we came to these 3D bodies, to this density. And this density doesn't allow us to remember who we were before we came in, because the energy in our bodies is so embedded in this very much slower vibration that underlies and allows our existence within this 3D reality. It's quite different to what we're used to when we're in our higher vibrational states. And it's because of that, I think it must be quite exciting to have the prospect of coming here. Now, we do exist in time and space, and because of time and space, there is the past, there is the present, and there is the future. I think it's fairly commonly known now that everything happens now. There is no other time than now. We just we have memories of things that happened in the past now, and we've got wants that we want to have memories of in the future now, but they might not necessarily come true because we don't know, do we? We can kind of make things happen, but we kind of can't as well. It's not always what we expect it to be. So after that complete and utter ramble there around existence, part of our experience is drawing in our ability to seek ourselves, to get to know ourselves better. And we can get into a real dense state of completely forgetting any other part of ourselves other than the human existence, which can be a very ordinary existence. It can be very sort of samey day to day. This is how you live life, and this is how you do that. And you know, I'm very happy the whole way through, and then I die. Or it could be you go through life and it's a real challenge because you got this underlying feeling in the background telling you that there is more. There has to be more than this. I am more than this. I'm worth more than this. Or you've got some underlying thought process which is telling you there is something else. There's an understanding of life that we just don't have. We can't grasp it. Or it's just there's so many ways that life can be challenging. And oracle cards and tarot cards give us the opportunity to, for one, once as soon as we pick up an oracle deck and decide to use it, we've made a decision. We've made a decision to ask for guidance from a part of ourselves that isn't in our everyday lives. I mean, it is in our everyday lives because it's there all the time, but it's not in the everyday lives as in the human kind of 3D, not thinking about anything else other than just being a human. That kind of ordinary, let's call it an ordinary life, where you're just going through your day to day. You're existing as a human being. You're doing what you need to do to be a human being, to survive, to have a family, to go on a holiday, have friends, do all the wonderful things in life, as well as go through all the challenges. It wouldn't occur to you to pick up an oracle deck, essentially. But as soon as you pick up an oracle deck, or you think about tarot cards, or you explore the spirit realm, or you think about ghosts, or God, or religion, or anything like that, you start stepping into a different layer of being, a different layer of understanding your being. So oracle decks, for me, are a means to invite in a conversation. And it's a conversation with a part of yourself that you may not necessarily start off being connected to fully. You might, well, when I first picked up an oracle deck, let me explain this. When I first picked up an oracle deck, I was like, oh, these are like affirmation cards. And I've never liked affirmation cards. I will read them. I'm like, okay, yeah, great. I'll just be happy then. And it doesn't work, right? But these are more than that, because they tell you things. They tell you things like, trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. Can you see that? They tell you things like new beginnings, step forward and expansion. And they tell you things like vitality, confidence, power, and decisiveness. Now, kind of affirmation-y, right? They're kind of like good affirmations. New beginnings. Think about new beginnings and stepping forward and expanding your life. Okay, great. I can think about that. That's a good affirmation. I can take one day at a time and just think about doing new things or different things and stuff like that. Trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. Again, trusting myself, trusting my instincts, I'm doing the right things, trusting yourself. That's a nice affirmation. And then vitality, confidence, power, decisiveness. Again, good affirmation. Vitality in life is really important. Having confidence in yourself and your power of making decisions. I mean, great. Okay, I can make decisions. I've got that power. Good affirmations. But it's more than that, because, and I guess you could do this with affirmation cards, which I understand now, is you can say, hang on a sec, that's ordinary, normal, everyday affirmation cards. Those are affirmation cards. But I want someone, or my higher self, the self that I am outside of the existence of being in this 3D reality. I want to have some guidance from the part of me, the part of existence that can give me guidance that will help me find my truest path, my best way forward. I want guidance that will say, actually, you may have been avoiding this, and maybe if you stopped avoiding it, then you might be able to move forward into a direction that you want to go in, because you all have hopes and dreams. We all have hopes and dreams, and we want to go in a direction that's going to take us towards those hopes and dreams. These oracle decks, tarot cards, they can give us guidance. If we can't hear the voice, we can't hear the guidance coming through in our heads, then what other means have we got? We've got loads of other means. And there's and part of moving forward in discovering how to find the path to where you want to go to and where you want to be is finding ways that you can get guidance from that higher part of yourself, that vibe, that spirit side. There's so many different ways of explaining it. There's so many different ways of saying it. And I haven't come to one conclusion myself as to what the best way is to say, to explain these things is. And maybe one day I will, hopefully I do. Currently, I'm getting a lot of downloaded information. I'm getting some channeled messages. I'm talking to crystals. I love my oracle decks and my tarot cards. But I started with the pendulum, and from the pendulum I went to oracle decks, and then from oracle decks, because they were less scary than tarot, to be quite honest, because they're you don't have to remember stuff. Most of these are quite intuitive, and then when it comes to tarot, it's like, oh, that's full of stuff, and I can't remember what's in a tarot deck and what they're supposed to mean and stuff like that. So I've got a cheat sheet, but we can go through the cheat sheet at some point. I'm not ever going to be able to, I might be able to, who knows, I can't say never. But I mean, there's so many different ways of communicating. And you open up to the different ways of communicating as you become more aware of the different levels of communication, the different levels of who you are, the different levels of energy, the different levels of being, the different levels of understanding, the different levels of knowing, the different levels of love, the different levels of truth. Because what I have discovered in the past few years is that there is no truth. Everything is true. Everything is true. And that's all down to perception. What's true for one person isn't true for another person, but what's true for them isn't true for another person, and so on and so forth. There is no truth. But there is an ability to have a dream, and there is an ability to have a desire, a want, an ask. There is the ability to say, do you know what? I know there's more. I know I'm capable of more. I want to change directions. I want to do something different with my life. I want to be more fulfilled, or I'm not quite where I want to be right now. I need to discover who I am, what I want to be doing. And how do you go about doing that? I mean, you can go through counselling, which is amazing. I've had counselling, a few years of it, and it really, really helps. and it really opens you up to exploring and recognizing things about yourself that you may never ever have thought of before. But yeah, so oracle cards have been for me an amazing source of asking for and receiving messages, and also synchronicities and signs and stuff like that, saying, you know what, we are here, we're still with you, you're never alone, you always have guidance, you always have your higher self. When I say higher self, what I mean is the self that is you always, whether you are alive or dead in this human body. So it's the you that existed before you came in. It's the you that exists now on the level that you maybe can't hear right now because your human stuff's going on. And then it's the you that you go back to after you leave this 3D reality. And when you're in this 3D reality, it can be quite hard to hear what your inner guidance system is trying to tell you, because all the human stuff is going on and it drowns it out, or it gives you doubts, or it gives you other things to focus on, it gives you distractions, it takes you from thinking one thought to another thought within seconds, and because of that, it's really hard to recall, and it's really hard to remember what you were just thinking about, what you were just doing, or even who you were, who you actually are. When we come in as children, we have a really good idea of who we are because we're fresh, we're new, we haven't been taught anything, we haven't been taught how to be a human being. And as we get older, we start learning and we start replacing the things that we thought we knew about ourselves with the things that we're taught should be about ourselves, and we start reprogramming. And as we reprogram, we forget. And then we forget even harder, and it becomes more and more difficult to remember. It becomes more and more difficult to think about the fact that there are different levels of who we are. And one of those levels is a level that is completely within the realm of energy and freedom and connection. And that realm of energy, freedom and connection is constantly guiding us, but we're not always able to see the signs. So if we start asking for the signs, we're going to start seeing them. So, Oracle, fantastic, because this is the first step to taking a look at what those signs are, asking for guidance. Look at that. The records. Remember why you came. Be bold. Legacy. Remember why you came. What were we just talking about? Remember why you came. Remember why you came here. Okay, so that's one of the things then they want us to talk about, because when we were just talking about the density of existence and forgetting and not being able to draw on the knowing of who we actually are beyond the human existence. And this guy is saying, remember why you came. Be bold and think about your legacy. What are you leaving behind? Be bold. Remember why you came. So that's a greater question, is it? Why did we come into this 3D existence? Why are we here? Well, I guess that's one of the big questions, isn't it? What's the purpose? What's the meaning of life? Why did we choose to have this experience? Why is it that we came from a higher vibration where we could do whatever the fuck we wanted, and we thought it was a really good idea to create the place to have an experience where we would not only experience duality, the good and the bad, but we would experience time and space, and we would completely forget where we came from and who we actually are. Why would we want that experience? Why would God or Source or whatever, the underlying energy of everything, why would that want to have this experience? Why are we here? And the thing is about that is there isn't one answer, is there? Because there's no truth, right? We always say, what's the meaning of life? As if there's one answer, as if it's 42. That's not a thing. Is there one answer to the meaning of life? Sure, let's make one up, because it's going to be true. Now, I've heard many reasons for meaning of life. It's like we're here to find enjoyment. We're here to have the best experience. We're here to learn. We're here to develop as souls. We're here to do this. We're here to do that. It's like, yeah, great. We're here to do all of those things. We are here to do all of those things. We're also here to help create more out of the possibility and the potential that sits within the void of everything, of all there is. Let's see what this card says. Trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. Scrying. I've never tried scrying. This one came out a minute ago as well, didn't it? Trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. So that one really wanted to come out. So this is interesting. Remember why you came. Be bold. And we talked about that. We've talked about the fact that the reason we come here is to have the experience. It's to have the experience. It's to experience the not knowing. It's to experience. There are many reasons to come. There are many things to achieve. There are many things to experience. Trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. Again, because I put this one back. And I guess because it's different for everybody, the reasons why you come here, the purpose of the meaning of your life, the reason why you're here, you know the answer to that. You have the innate wisdom inside you telling you why you came here, what path you're supposed to be on. That sits within you. Nobody else knows why your soul, the part of the source that is you, decided to come into this experience and have this body at this time with these people in this society or whatever society you came from. You have the answer inside you and you alone. So when it comes to trusting your vision and your intuition, that means listening to your inner voice, your inner guidance, finding out what your inner guidance system is, what your inner guidance is saying, and then also how that inner guidance is taking you down to the path of least resistance. Because the path of least resistance is the one that is the easiest. It generally is. It's the one that will take you to where you're supposed to be going. Why you're going there, how you get there. It's the least resistance, easiest path. And if you do everything with doing it in your do it to your higher good, to the greater good of everything and everybody, and on the path of least resistance, you're going to be trusting yourself. You're going to be trusting the visions, the intuition, the messages that come through. And once you've planted those seeds within yourself, once you've started planting them, once the first one has dropped in and you've let it grow a little bit and you've nurtured that for a little bit, other seeds from other sources will start dropping in. And some may grow into a plant which you might not necessarily like the look of. You might consider it a weed. Weed it, take it out. You might come across some plants that you'd never seen before, and you might think, oh my god, that's gorgeous. I'd never even thought a plant like that could exist. Oh my goodness. Sow those seeds. And never stop sowing those seeds, and never stop discovering new plants and new ways of communicating with yourself and finding out what's going on inside you. Because the minute you settle for something and you just like looking at your garden and you're like, oh, you know what, yeah, there's loads of plants in my garden, they're all fine, yeah, they're great. I mean, where's the passion there? Where's the love? Where's the excitement? Where's the discovery, the sense of seeking, the need to grow? Or, I mean, you might be completely fine with just being, which is absolutely fine actually, because some people just need to be. I went through a massive hermit stage for a year or so where I just didn't want to see anybody. I was just like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I would just do my job and then go quietly and be in my room and then just be like quiet and still and contemplating and read, and I'd watch YouTube videos, which I love YouTube. I'd meditate, I'd connect, and during that period though, I grew as a person. I discovered way more about myself. I got better with the pendulum, I got better with the oracle cards, I discovered crystals, and you may know by now, I love my crystals. And I learned to channel, and I connected with Mother Earth, and all of this happened during the hermit stage. But in the hermit stage, I wasn't just letting my garden grow. I was finding the different plants that were growing in my garden. It was like I'd scattered a load of like those meadow seeds you can get, and I didn't know what was going to grow. But as things came out from other things, they grew and they became, and I was just like, oh, properly looked at them, and I was just like, oh wow, that's for me. And then other things popped up and they weren't for me, like scrying, for example. I'm not sure that's for me. But yeah, so that's growth. That's the ability to see what's around you, to observe what's around you, to connect with what's around you, to then think about what it is and think about what resonates with you as well. Resonating is the vibration of something that touches your heart or something that feels right. You know that feeling you get when you just know that what someone has just said is the deepest thing that you've heard in a really long time. It touches something within you which just feels honest, and it's about feeling honest. It's not even true, it's just honest, and I think they are slightly different things. Truth is subjective. It's down to every person, in every individual has a different level of truth, but honesty is where you are detecting there is no lie. They're not trying to deceive you. You're not being deceived. It's different. It is ever so slightly different. Let's see what this card says. The egg stone, feminine power, embodiment, and fertility. I mean, interesting. Okay, I've never seen this card before. So that's rather intense, actually. She looks like she's meditating. And she is connecting to her root chakra, I'm guessing, in her little vajayjay there. Egg stone, feminine power, embodiment, fertility. Interesting. Let's see what this one is then. Energy rising, vitality, confidence, power, and decisiveness. I guess the feminine, connecting to the feminine side of who we are, is about that exploration of self, because the masculine side's about doing, right? The feminine side is about the internal sort of empathic side of things, and you can have empathy for other people, but when do you have empathy for yourself? And actually discovering who you are, embodying your own ability, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. Everyone's got the ability to do an internal kind of review, I guess, of where we are now, where we Is it really soul satisfying? Is it something that, is it honest? Are we living honestly? Does it resonate with us still? Is there something else in the world that we could potentially be thinking about doing? Anything at all. It doesn't have to be big. It could be the smallest thing in the world. But if it's slightly different, slightly new, or something that you've always thought about doing, but you've always haven't quite got around to it yet, give it a go. And then you've got energy rising, vitality, confidence, power, decisiveness. I mean, what a lovely card. So this is like Stonehenge almost, with a rainbow portal, I guess you would call that. Energy rising. And this for me is saying, as you explore yourself more, as you listen to yourself more, as you find the means to communicate with that part of you that's trying to guide you, that's trying to give you the path of least resistance and take you on that journey that you've always wanted to go on, or be that person you've always wanted to be, or find that thing that answers the questions that you've always had. There's that internal voice, and it is there. And as you explore it, as you give it a means to communicate with you, and as you listen more, you will become more confident, you will become more powerful, and you will become more able to function, to flow with life. And as you flow with life, the intuition will set in, and you will be able to listen more easily and hear more easily, and you will be able to pick up a deck of cards, and you'll be able to be like, what's this telling me right now? What is this saying? And this card is saying that with the rising confidence, with the rising energy of knowing who you are, the more it rises, the more vital you will feel. The more confident in yourself you will feel. The more confident in your steps and the way you're going and the direction you're going in, and that you're supported and that you are not alone, you will feel more confident, you will feel more vital. And in that you will be more powerful, you will feel more able. You'll be living in honesty. And honesty can change, because things change. What could be honestly true 1 second could be honestly different in the next second. But if you're functioning within that honesty stream of kind of self-awareness, and the fact that you don't want to hurt anybody in this process, you just want to be you, and you just want to have your experience, and you're doing it for the greater good, not just your own good, but the higher greater good, so that includes everybody else where possible. It can make you more decisive. It makes you more able to make decisions, and then follow those decisions through to the next part of your journey. And all of this is from 4 cards from an oracle card deck. It's taken a little while for me to actually get to the point where I can read the cards like this, though. This is intuition, and this goes into the conversation that we're having, because we went from remember why you came, and before that we were talking about remembering who we are. So remembering who we are, remember why we came, trust the inner guidance system, explore your feminine energy and your feminine power, and embody that. And as you become more fertile in your feminine power, the more you grow in your intuition, the more you grow with the guidance that you're getting, and the more you're able to listen and see and connect with the things that you're asking to connect with. Your energy will rise, your vitality will grow, and you will feel more connected and powerful. These are the things, this is the thing that Mother Earth, that God, that whoever you want to believe in, is sharing constantly. And we are able to hear it because we are it. We are it. We are from it. Mother Earth is our energy. Ether is our energy. We are the energy of Source. We are all of that and more. And we are living in a dense reality which has allowed us to forget. And in that forgetting, we've lost a part of our ability to trust. To trust because we're not hearing honesty. The more we hear honesty, the more we resonate with what we hear, the more we're able to listen, and the more we're able to take in, and the more we're able to grow and trust and be. And you can only get to that point if you start seeking. If you are a seeker, it means that you are exploring the possibilities of the plants that you've scattered in your garden. What plants resonate with you? You have the answers to why you're here. You have the answers to the meaning of your life. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Anyway, I hope that was something you might connect with. That's my first ever oracle reading. And I don't think that went too badly. So I'm just self-congratulating myself, which is lovely. I like doing that sometimes. And just be like, go with the flow, dude. Go with the flow. Love life. Love yourself. Seek. Don't settle for anything. Don't settle for an answer. Because guaranteed there's more than one answer. Or an answer has many layers to it. Like, yeah, this is true if. And then that's true if. And then that's true if. So look for what resonates with you, what you connect with as an individual, and start there. And when you start, the minute you start seeking is the minute you open yourself up to possibilities. And the more possibilities you open up to, the more you will find that there's a lot more possibilities out there, and that life is way more exciting than you think. Okay, let's see what this is. Last card, the Holy Mountain. Oh my goodness. Soul calling, sacred journey and pilgrimage. Your soul is calling you. Whatever journey you're on, it's a sacred one back to your soul. It's a sacred one back to you. And it is calling you. That's beautiful. Thank you. That's gorgeous. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Well, I hope that was okay. And yeah, funny. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching potentially. At this point in my streaming life, I have 0 views, so fantastic. If someone does see this and you like it, then great. Let me know. Thank you very much. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.